You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back for another episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. What a weekend. What a season. It's September. It's fall-ish, I guess. Summer is, wrap. And, I ended it on quite a great bang, I must say. I really, I'm excited. I know Labor Day weekend was lit. There was no Made in America, but we still had a good time, clearly. So much has went down. I mean, I'm really excited about fall. Fall is actually my favorite season. I don't know if I told you all this. It's pumpkin spice latte season. I'm not a pumpkin spice latte girl like that, but I like the vibe of it, like the smell of it, like the fall candles. We're going to bring in some of this white vanilla, some of these pumpkin spice cocktails and themed cocktails and candles, and it's going to smell good up in here. It's a vibe. So I actually love fall. And super excited. School is in season. I can pull out the cardigans. I got the it's blazer season again, like real blazers, I'm super excited. My fall closet has stuff, like I'm ready for fall, I'm ready for fall. I say all that to say, but this past weekend, as you all probably know, I was in Atlantic City. This time I stayed at the Caesars. I was at Tropicana last time earlier in the summer. But I ended my dog days of summer at Caesar's Palace, which I must say has been my favorite. I think it's safe to say it's my favorite hotel in Atlantic City. I had a memorable time. Caesar's Palace definitely is a vibe. I've been to the ocean. I've been to the Borgata. I've been to Tropicana. And this is Caesar's. I must say Caesar's Palace was definitely memorable. I had a lot of fun there. Now, I did, step out a little bit and check out some other things and some other spots, but Caesars was a vibe. And I must say that the Gordon Ramsay energy at the Caesars was in full effect. And I'm a Gordon Ramsay fan. I'm a Gordon Ramsay stan. I love his restaurants and I love his food. And when we went to the Hell's Kitchen at the Caesars in Atlantic City, baby, it was fire. Now, you all know last year I went to Vegas, and Mr. Johnson and I, we did this cute little, mini vacation. And I was, going to come in with my expectations lowered because I was like, Vegas, Hell's Kitchen, phenomenal. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be cool. This Atlantic City, let me calm my expectations down. I have to let you all know, they exceeded them. It was a great time. The rollout, the service, the food, it was just very good, even paced. Everything didn't feel so overwhelming and rushed. Everything was very much done to a T. The cocktails, every cocktail in there is worth drinking. I enjoyed every cocktail. Every cocktail was great. If you are a heavy whiskey person, the whiskey cocktails were good. I'm a fruity girl. I love all of the nice, dressed up cocktails and all the extra. Those were on top tier. The food across the board was just sensational, delicious, nutritious. I felt, and one of the things that I will say too, is that, it's one of them things where how do I describe this? Like, all of these restaurants are going to be unique based on what they're bringing to the table. What I will say about the Hell's Kitchen in Atlantic City is that they have a great balance of the traditional dishes that makes Gordon Ramsay great, but they also have a very great nod to the seafood of Jersey. And what makes Jersey great is those delicious Jersey tomatoes that do the best in the summer. So they had the tomatoes, the dishes they had with tomatoes, the caprese, all of those things had a Jersey tomato energy to them that took it to the next level. Of course, we did the tasting menu, which is not that expensive. It was about $109, and we had it with the lobster tail on top of the beef Wellington, and we had the scallops, and we had the toffee pudding dessert. It was really good. And then there's add-ons, in which I recommend add-ons for people who want to just try extra. The signature lobster risotto, we definitely had that. And the desserts, we added a couple other desserts because we were extra. But to be honest, it's a very fair, reasonably priced dinner at that level of magnitude. You're not, you might, there's some restaurants that might feel intimidating where you're thinking you're spending like $400 a person, which there are some restaurants that are like that, just putting it out there. But this is not that. This is reasonable. This is a fair, reasonably priced dinner in Atlantic City. And it's got all the flair, the excitement, the beauty of it all, and it's worth going to. So we really love Caesar's Palace at the Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen at Caesar's Palace. Also loves Royce. We went to Tropicana. We slipped over to Tropicana and went to the Royce, which is another spot that I really, really love. They have really big old ass cocktails. And they just it's never bad. The Royce at AC is in the Tropicana Resort. I went last time and I wanted to go again. So Mr. Johnson, I went. And it was a cute cocktail night. We just wanted to see some live music. We was in the little private section being cute. I had this big ass 44 ounce, was it a Cosmo? It was something, but it was in like a big old martini glass. And they had like fun drinks, a nice lively bar. There's like a little area where we could play games. We did like this little ping pong thing for about 30, 45 minutes. That became a huge a huge thing where everybody was just like, trying to figure it out. But it was great. It was a lot going on. It was a fun time. A lot of memories and turn up for sure. For brunch, we went to Wild Honey Barbecue, which we went to last time, which is still good. It's a barbecue spot that has great barbecue. But they also have a really good brunch situation for people who just want a simple, affordable, reasonably priced brunch. We also went to a new place called Hash A Go-Go, which is at Tropicana as well. And Hash A Go-Go, it's called Hash House A Go-Go. Let me correct. Hash House A Go-Go, which they have their own location outside of Atlantic City. But they have a location in Jersey. But we went to the one that was inside of Atlantic City, in Atlantic City, inside the Tropicana. And that was pretty awesome as well. It was phenomenal. Good times. And they had impressive food. They have these really good scrambles and hash brown scrambles that are phenomenal. Oh, but I'm drinking this right now. I'm sipping on this drink. So I'm going to shout her out because she's the reason I'm drinking it. So I'm drinking this non-alcoholic aperitif called Gia. You've probably heard about Gia. It's spelled G-H-I-A. It's a Spritz. And they have various flavors, and a lot of people have been talking about them. But my homegirl Candace, she's a big avid listener of Ernestly Speaking. She was been like low key promoting this and just dropping this in her photos. And I kept looking like, what is this? I've heard of this. Let me check it out. Well, I got a sampler kit, tried it, and I'm trying their brand new flavor, which is a sumac and chili flavor. Very good. It's very good. It feels and tastes like a cocktail, but it's not alcoholic and it's really good. They have these 8-ounce cans, and they also have a concentrate bottle where you can, make your own at home. So you can do ginger beer, sparkling water, kombucha, which I'm not going to make a kombucha cocktail. I just feel like those are two different things. But the sparkling water and the ginger beer, heavy on the ginger beer, you can mix this 1 part to 2 parts. So it's a 3 parts drink. So 2 parts, whatever you're drinking, and then a third, and then 1 part the concentrate from Gia. And it makes really great natural buzz-free cocktails or whatever. It's popping. Wow. So I'm trying the turmeric and chili for the first time. I tried the original flavor and it was dope. But this sumac with chili. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. That is good. Okay, that is really good. You can get it online. They will deliver it to your house. They have a special discount for first timers. You get like 10% off when you order for the first time. The website is really dope. It's really simple. And the way that you spell it is GHIA. Just put Gia non-alcoholic in Google and the website will come up. But these are really good. Now, to be clear, I still love my alcohol and my cocktails. But this is a cute alternative, especially when I do this podcast, because I have no intentions of being drunk on the podcast. But I do intend to still have a good vibe and a good buzz. And y'all know I love my sparkling. So, normally I'm drinking a recess. But, I'm going to drink this. Last week I had Being Happy. A Happy Being was what I was drinking last week. And Happy Being is really good, too. I had that tea earlier. It does wonders for the digestive system and for my sense of zen. So, back onto what I was doing in Atlantic City. So, Saturday night we went to dinner at a place called Superfico. I might be mispronouncing this. Superfico. It was a very Superfico time. It's an Italian restaurant and it's very good. Very, very, very good. Italian restaurants, I feel like you can't go wrong with Italian restaurants. And then I thought about a couple. I was like, yeah, that wasn't that good. But most Italian restaurants I've been to have always been decent or phenomenal. This is definitely a fun time. Definitely Atlantic City, because it could always be super formal. But this was a very fun, lively, jazzy time. They made homemade mozzarella in front of us. It was a lot of wild, fun entertainment. Promptu dancers and shows and little things like that popping up. Lots of just overall good vibes and attention and energy. I mean, I can't complain. I really appreciated the fun. It was some dancers. It was some weird people doing interesting tricks. I don't want to tell off the dinner too much, but it's it's a type of dinner where you go, you eat, and there's always going to be a couple of every 30 minutes there might be a random silly performance or things that happen, but nothing that grosses you out, nothing that ruins your dining experience. It's all fun. It's all creative, and it was just a really great dining experience. Food was really good. They had a deep dish pizza that was cut in 4 slices. Makes the perfect appetizer. It was a meatball pie, and it was deep dish, and it was, oh my God, it was perfect. The portion size was perfect. They called it a pizza, but it's served Detroit style, the square, pizza. It was so good. Deep dish. It was delicious. I don't even know why I slurped, but it was just that good. It just phenomenal. I had the lamb chops. Mr. Johnson had the chicken parmesan. What else did we eat? We had lots of drinks, lots of great cocktails. Atlantic City has some good cocktails across the board. The prices range. But I would say, that's one thing I will say about Atlantic City. Everywhere I went, cocktails were definitely on point. I didn't have a bad cocktail in Atlantic City. I haven't had a bad cocktail in Atlantic City. I feel like they know that if people are there, people want a show, people want a nice presentation, people want something that tastes good. So I will say Atlantic City definitely have a really nice cocktail scene across the board. They got fruity drinks, they got the deep, heavy brown bourbon whiskey type of fare. They know what they're doing over there when it comes to drinks. I would say that about Atlantic City. But yeah, Superfico was great. Afterwards, we went to dinner. After we did dinner and dessert, we went to see The Hook. Now, let me tell you about The Hook. The Hook is connected to the Superfico restaurant. They want you to go to there for dinner, which I recommend, and then afterwards connect to go to the show to see The Hook. So The Hook is this, I don't even know how to describe it, but it is the funniest comedy, theatrical, musical entertainment show I've been to in a very, very long time. I laughed my ass off. This is not a show for kids. This is not a show for meek people. The jokes are over the top. They are ridiculous. They are hilarious. The way they be reading the audience while reading each other is a gag. There's magic tricks. There's acrobats. There's body stunts. There's magic. There's comedy. There's music. I mean, I don't know. It's a show. It's a show. I haven't seen a show like this in my life, in front of me. I saw some of the videos on my Instagram, but I don't want to show too much because I want people to actually have the experience. But the show goes from death-defying tricks It's like if Circuit du Soleil met Mad TV with an SNL live stage. Like it's all the things you want in a show. Like if you was undecided if you wanted to see a circus or see a comedy stand-up show or see a musical, go see The Hook, because The Hook is gonna give you all of those things, and it's done well. It's not 5 hours long, it's not 3 hours long. It's a nice 90-minute set, very reasonable. They have a bar, you can get cocktails there and sit down and drink, but it's a good ass time. It was memorable. It's called The Hook. Go. If you're in Atlantic City, go see The Hook. If you're like, what can I see for a show? Go see The Hook. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculously good. I'm still cracking up on a joke that they made. So I'll tell you this one joke that was made. Barry and I was sitting next to each other. Mr. Johnson, my husband. We were sitting right next to each other, and we're watching the show. And in the middle of the show, one of the people on the stage was like, they was making jokes. They said, "Is this your husband?" And I was like, yes. Who wants to know? And they were like, "Oh, wow, this is your husband? Where are your wives?" And they started laughing. It was a joke. I died. I said, I'm through. This person knew what they was saying, and it was hilarious. But I'm gonna leave it there. It was I want to say more, but I think you all should go see it. The tickets are not even that expensive. It's hilarious. It's good to watch. Maybe it's good to watch with an edible. Maybe it's good to watch a little tipsy. I don't know. Whatever floats the boat to make the show exciting. I'm just gonna say, my experience watching the show was very nice. So yes, The Hook was great. Overall, Atlantic City was phenomenal. Like I have no complaints. I really appreciate it. It was a nice way to just get out of the city, but also just, do minimum work. I checked my emails a couple of times, but I really just was not really doing too much. I was just really in the moment and enjoying, this opportunity and just, everything. So it was just nice. It was a nice romantic getaway. I tell people all the time, sometimes people spend so much money, I don't know. I think that some of the things that I've recognized is that people feel like in order to do a vacation, it has to be you have to go far out of the city. You have to do all these theatrics. But I'm all for a good little staycation, a good staycation. Sometimes, or I wasn't in the city, but a nearby situation. It don't always have to be, we got to go to New York or we got to go to LA or something. I mean, if you want to do all that, you can. Sometimes it's just like, just a change of scenery. Just taking yourself out of your house could just be all you might need to get that feel. A lot of times people think that in order to get that experience, you need to, really, really be really out of the city. I would dare challenge people, couples, whatever. Here's an experiment. Try, even if you by yourself, you want to do a solocation. Just experiment bear with me. Try to go to a nice hotel in the city that you live in and see if the feeling that you're getting, whether it's the tension, stress, whatever, see if your vibe changes if you just make a different relocation somewhere else where you're at. Like if you invested in an overnight stay at the Four Seasons or the W or somewhere like that, or another, like AKA, good hotel like that. Imagine taking just a day at a nice hotel, get you a spa day in, do an overnight sleep and stay there, relax, don't do any work, leave your laptop at the house or something. I wonder if that feeling would resolve a lot of what you think you need in dropping way more money to leave the city. I've been experimenting and I've done it a couple times this summer. And I must say that I really realized that I saved a lot of money and a lot of excessive planning doing a staycation in my city or around me. I mean, we did it one time in Delaware earlier this year. We went to the DuPont, the La DuPont, and it's a nice hotel. And we was in Wilmington, and that experience alone just gave me all the feels I needed. That did not require me to have to feel like I need to go to Houston or I need to go to like, somewhere further. I think people should try it. I would encourage it. If you do it already, the real G's know. But I've been telling my friends that, like, hey, before you try to, really be making these out of the control plans, see what Atlantic City got to say. Because I just feel like people just be giving Miami too much of their coins and too much of their resources. You know what I'm saying? Too many people be out here sending money to Cancun and shit. I'm like, help your local economy. You may have the beach you want right in front of you. I'm just saying. I mean, what do I know? I'm just, I just go out a lot. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, it was overall great. Labor Day weekend has been wonderful. I went to a cookout. My lawyer had a cookout. So, I had to, chop it up and see him and see my other family on the other side of Philly. I love East Oak Lane. I must say, East Oak Lane is nice. I always tell myself, do I want to move into a house and do all that in East Oak? Go to Northwest, like get out of like the University City area and go off there? Not yet. But I do understand it. I do understand why people like to live a little away from the city. But as a yuppie, I'm committed to staying here until I hit around 35. Maybe once I get around 35, I might be like, okay, maybe. If I'm still in Philly by 35, maybe. Let's see what this house market look like. But I don't need no one to sell me a house. Everybody always want to sell a house. Listen, it takes a lot to maintain a house. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like I'm not afraid of owning a house. I just don't see it for me right now because of all the things I know that it takes to maintain. I'm not a handy dandy person and I don't like to fix shit and I don't want to keep paying people to do something that should have been done when I first moved in there. That is my feelings about home owning. I feel like it's a lot. I like to call maintenance to come to my current place and fix what I need to get fixed. I don't know nothing about plumbing. Do I know how to use a plumber? You damn Skippy, I do. But at my mindset is I'd rather put that in a lump sum. They're like, well, you're not owning any equity. And You don't know what equity look like to me. Okay? Equity is somewhere here. Okay? I have equity. It's just not in the house. Okay? Sometimes you can just, have royalties on books and shit. How about that? But no, I'm not crazy about homeowning right now because I just feel like it just takes a lot of attention that I just don't have right now. And so if things got a little bit more under control, I might. But also, too, I'm not committed to Philly fully. I don't know. I'm committed. I've been here for over, how many years now? 13 years? So I guess I'm committed. But I'm at the same time, I just need to see a couple of things. I need to see a couple of things. That's all. But I do love it here. And I've in my entire adulthood, I have only paid my taxes in Philadelphia. So I'm a Philadelphian and I believe I am. And, I might, step out every, summer somewhere else. But clearly, where I pay my bills and where I lay my head at. I must be with you. I'm not cheating on you. Who I pay the bills to? Who I lay my head at with? Who am I with all the time? Don't that sound familiar? I must be with you, Philly. So, we together. We dating. We're in a relationship. I claim you. So, anyway, what else is going on before I get to these hot topics? Book tour dates is loading. I am not going to get into the details yet, but I would love to formally confirm there will officially be a third and final book tour for the Case for Council Culture, which will be the rest of this fall. Dates are coming out very soon. We're confirming a couple of more, but this is going to be a very expansive, massive book tour. We are going all over the country. There are some new cities There are a few familiar places, I think, but we're definitely doing some new places. There are going to be some places in the East, the West, the Midwest. You heard that right. We got some interesting cities that are going to be on the list, and we're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up for the tour. That doesn't mean the book is over. The book is still around, but the book tour, as we the way I've done it, I won a year-long book tour. My dreams came true, and the third and final leg of which is going to be fall, is going to be coming soon. The dates are coming out very, very soon. I hope that by the next time I do this podcast, which will be a week from now, of course, you all will know officially the dates and everything will come out. You all will be the first to know of those dates, but they're coming. I'm super excited about them. I'm super excited about who I'm going to be on the tour with. There's some great journalists and people I want to connect with. There's some Black men in media that I've respected and I've enjoyed in their respective cities. So I'm working with the brothers this time around to do some really great conversations about the book and have some really great conversations. And these are smart guys, by the way, because, there's a lot of men out here, not all the brothers in the industry are as dope as me, but some of these men out here are a little toxic. But the ones that I have, they are decent brothers. They're decent Black men who are doing the damn thing in the media industry. And I'm super excited to collaborate with them and do a couple of conversations across the country. So that's happening. Can't wait for you all to be able to catch it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for people who are not in Philadelphia. Y'all going to be excited because I'm definitely going to be, bringing my talents to some other parts of the country that I haven't been to yet. And some places I've always wanted to go to. So it's going to be fun. There's a lot in store. So I'm going to just say that without saying too much. Also, I'm in the midst right now, Libra season is coming. I know the Virgos are in their bag. You Virgos can have it. Happy birthday, Beyonce. Happy birthday to all the Virgos out there that I like, because there's some I don't. But but I want to say shout out to all the Virgos out there having your little season. I always appreciate the Virgo season because it reminds me the Libra season is next. So I appreciate knowing when Virgo season is around because it reminds me that the best is yet to come. But yeah, I'm in the mode of planning my birthday, trying to figure that out, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my birthday. If I'm planning my birthday, you know how you be trying to plan your stuff and then people be planning stuff for you. You know how that go, y'all. So I'm over here trying to work on my birthday. My birthday's October 12th, Thursday, October 12th. But my party will probably be that weekend. So I'm looking at some things, trying to figure out some things, but looks like that's coming along. But Libra season is coming soon, but I'm gonna let you Virgos keep having at it. So let's move on. What's going on? What's next? Oh, before I get into it, there was a story. I don't know if you all read it or heard about it, but this was in the New Yorker, not New Yorker, the New York Post. The New York Post. That former Estee Lauder exec, his name is John Dempsey. This man got in trouble because he shared a racist meme that included Chingy in it in some type of way, and the N-word was in it. It was a controversy. This man ended up losing his job at Estee Lauder. He was a big, huge fashion exec that worked with people like Mary J. Blige, Rihanna, Diana Ross. I mean, John Dempsey is a very majorly known person. Go look him up. Well, he did an exclusive interview with the New York Post because now he says he's making a comeback after being canceled. And a lot of people are apparently supporting him and backing him. Well, the New York Post reached out to me for my comment and shouted out my book. The Case for Cancel Culture got a shout out. And, now sales have been going up for my book on Amazon since this interview went down. And I must say, it has been, just refreshing to see how this book has taken off in its own right yet again. So for people who saw it, a lot of you all showed it to me, showed me the link, said, hey, they're talking about your book. Your book is in this. I know, I was interviewed for it, and to see it climb on the charts and just seeing people just a mass group of people take notes of this book is always exciting because you just never know who from that group is going to read it, who they might be, how they might be connected, and what can happen next for the book. So that was just very exciting. And I'm very grateful for just included in continuous coverage. I mean, this book has been out for over 6 months now, and it's just continuing to be relevant and be in the conversation. And, I love that. So thank you all so much for just talking up the book and showing love to it. I'm so happy this week I'm not teaching at Cheney because it's Labor Day and I teach on Mondays. And so because Labor Day is in effect, I didn't have to teach this week. So, just good vibes all around. So, other things that's been going on. So, Donald Trump, he's had a mugshot. He's been arrested. He's been charged, criminally charged. His fourth indictment. He has officially pleaded not guilty. He's waived arraignment in the case that has accused him and others of trying to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia, which means he does not actually have to show up to the hearing. He doesn't have to participate in that aspect of it. There's apparently another March court date set in 2024 pertaining to other charges he's facing. A court date set for March 4th. Y'all, that's going to be in the middle of the Republican primary, for president. It's going to be in the middle of everything going on next year with the election season. So, I'm happy that the court dates are starting earlier because everybody has a right to a fair and speedy trial. You shouldn't be kept under the umbrella of being, looked at as a criminal if you don't think you're a criminal. Just saying. So I look forward to the Trump, case. I think the upcoming trials, I'm looking forward to it. Also, because this is a thing that's been brought up already, Mitch McConnell, apparently has been stiff again. Now, I'm not one to, I'm not someone who celebrates somebody's sickness, but I'm also not somebody who's going to be wishing a person well when they don't mean me and my people well. So there's been some controversy. So, there was already a video showing Mitch McConnell being, kind of stunted in his posture in his presentation a couple of weeks ago, and that caused people to worry about his health. Clearly, his health is on decline, and that's something that I think even Republicans are not trying to act like isn't a thing. But with that being said, that's it. That's all that needs to be said. Just saying, his health is on decline. The end. Mark Lamont Hill, who's on Twitter, we cool or whatnot, I suppose. We good. We good. We don't have no problems anymore. He went on Twitter and he shared a quote tweet saying that he doesn't wish something along the lines of not wishing not wishing Mitch McConnell any, ill will or something like that. I'm going to actually read it because I don't want to misquote. It was interesting, just interesting. That's the best word I would say. Interesting. He goes back and forth with people a lot on here. I'm going to find where the Mitch McConnell thing was. But I think the one thing for me is that people like that, so he shared the video. This was last week. He says, this is the video where Mitch McConnell appears to freeze again while taking questions from reporters in Kentucky. Now, in that video, Mitch McConnell was halting for more than 30 seconds before answering if he would run for re-election, to which he says he is going to run for re-election, which is even more concerning. So Mark Lamont Hill quote tweets and it says, this is difficult to watch. McConnell was garbage as a politician in person, but I still feel sadness and sympathy watching him struggle. The idea of him considering re-election is absurd, as is the idea of him staying in office until 2016. I hope he retires for everyone's sake. Now, people was not too pleased for him to say this. And let me hear what I got to say about this. Mark oftentimes says he's radical in his politics. He's radically progressive. He's a Marxist. He's very much so somebody for the liberation of black and brown people, which I don't critique any of that. My thing is, though, is that Mitch McConnell is a segregationist. Mitch McConnell is a racist. Mitch McConnell is a bigot. Mitch McConnell supports a lot of policies that leads to the defamation and displacement of black and brown people in this country. He does not support a woman's right to choose, and he aligns himself with white supremacists and bigots and sexists who want that to happen. Mitch McConnell is not a human. He is a monster. And to be honest, people like him literally hopes that people like us are sick, that we don't have the resources and ability to do the things that we need to do, that we are the types of people that don't exist in this country because it does not serve his bottom line. And that is shown in the policies that he supports that cuts off resources and benefits to the very people that he claims to be the leader of in his position as a United States Senator. So because of those reasons, I'm indifferent about anything that this man is struggling for health-wise. Because quite frankly, I live in the world of you get what you put out in this world, you get what you deserve. Karma is a bitch, and let whoever is the maker deal with who they make. And so I don't got nothing to say about the situation. I ain't got no happiness, I ain't got no sadness, but I ain't got no mourning and I ain't got no pity. Whatever the fuck that man got going on, it is to his own doing and he needs to live with it, and that's just the way it is. Period. I think too often black people are always in these positions where we feel like we gotta provide some solace and some extra forgiveness and something to clear. We ain't gotta say shit. And how I feel about this tweet from Mark is, I understand what Mark is trying to say, but Mark, you didn't have to put the tweet up. Why do you have to be the person to let people know how you feel about this white man that don't give a fuck about you? These are some of the same people that want to see you not without a job, and here you are over here showing empathy in ways that they don't. I don't have this empathy. Save this empathy for queer people, black people, and everybody else that go through shit. That's the level of empathy, outward empathy I have. Privately, you might say, damn, that sucks to see this man going through this. But do you think I need to sit up here and offer any public adoration for this motherfucker? Absolutely not. And I think that that's something that I feel like I need my cishet black men in movement spaces to understand. You're not doing anything radically unique or special by giving any acquiescence to problematic people who are rooted in bigotry and sexism. It just does not benefit. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know why there are people like that feel like they're showing some level of maturity by showing this level of empathy for people who are very harmful. That's such a very old, dated, boomer, Gen Xer thing to do. I'm sorry, but millennials and Gen Zers, we just get it a little bit better when it comes to that. It's like, if we recognize the absolute harm that a person is bringing upon our livelihoods, we recognize that two things can be true at the same time. That one, that person can be hurting and it is what it is, but two, also, I'm hurting as well, and I'm not going to concede to my oppressor. Mitch McConnell is an oppressor. Mitch McConnell is invested in the harm. Even when he's sick, he is saying he is running for re-election so he can keep this seat till 2026 and beyond to keep hurting people. If you want to know, if anybody who listens to this podcast from the very first episode, who did I tell y'all about? Mitch McConnell. He is literally the reason why you get a Donald Trump. He's the reason why Clarence Thomas is in power. He's the reason why the Supreme Court is stacked the way it is. There is so many books, there is so many documents I've read about this man to understand the institution of the Republican Party. He is the institution. He is the ringleader. See, we talk about Trump all the time, and I get Trump is a problem. I get it. But you don't get Trump without Mitch McConnell. You don't get Clarence Thomas without Mitch McConnell. You don't see the Republican takeover in the Supreme Court without Mitch McConnell. Y'all be looking at the wrong people. See, real G's know that people like Mitch McConnell, people like Chuck Schumer in the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, them are the people that have had their hands in this system for decades. Those are the people that y'all skip over because you're too busy looking at Obama. You're too busy worried about Joe Biden. You're too busy talking about Hillary. Nah, it's them. It's really them who's moving the strings in Congress within the Senate. They're the ones moving the needle to get shit done. When I hear people talk about the Republican Party and never mention Kevin McCarthy, I know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to GOP politics. It's almost like I want to create a second podcast just to talk about it because it's so entrenched in our day-to-day life that we're missing the wrong targets. Talk about Kevin McCarthy. Talk about Mitch McConnell. Y'all talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She ain't got no real power. She just a clown, okay? Y'all talk about AOC. She ain't really running shit over there. Like, I want to talk about the real movers and shakers. The real people that's influencing the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You know, I want to talk about those folks. I want to talk about, you know, people who are rising stars within the party that's going to probably lead the party. You know, I want to talk about them. I want to talk about, you know, let me see. I want to talk about Hakeem Jeffries. You know, I want to talk about Hakeem Jeffries. We talking about all these other people. We can talk about the people that really are moving and shaking. That's what I want to talk about. But I just wanted to say that, you know, what's happening to Mitch McConnell is what's happening to Mitch McConnell. Period. Now, speaking about Democrats and speaking about why we need to keep our eye closer to the ground, there's been a movement lately, a silly, stupid movement, but a movement nonetheless. But there's been a movement from some people in the Democratic Party that is now backing the likes of David O. David O is running as a Republican for mayor. Yes, y'all, the mayoral race is not over. I want to tell people again, Sherelle Parker won the Democratic nomination for mayor. The election is in November. That is the election y'all should be concerned about. Y'all should not be spending your energy acting like this race is over because it's not. Now, let's be clear. Sherelle is the presumptive winner. I do think Sherelle is going to win. However, I think it's important to observe how some of these people have been moving since Sherelle has been the Democratic nominee. And shockingly enough, I'm seeing pictures of some interesting people in these pictures. So there was a movement a couple years ago. Some of y'all might know. It's called a different Democrat. A different type of Democrat, you know, a different kind of Democrat. There was this group of these Democrats who they could never get the party's nomination on shit. And I'm talking about in Philly. They couldn't get the party's nomination. So there was this like unique coalition of these people who ran for these seats that they never could, most of them couldn't even go on a damn ballot. And a few of them did get on a ballot, right? But they never won. They never really got enough public appeal. They just talked a lot of shit on social media. And it was a movement for 5 seconds. And they would call themselves a different type of Democrat or a different kind of Democrat, whatever the hell that meant. But, you know, over time, the group split away. That movement and energy went away because they was a distraction to the party. And people just got the word of them. So since then, there's been a little movement privately where folks have began to start having different conversations. And these conversations was focused on, you know, dibbling and dabbling with Republicans, you know, and talking to them. And I've seen some of this Black Republican energy where people was trying to, you know, do this, try to do this situation where they would mix and mingle with them and, you know, say they're this. But honestly, what I found in Philly was that there was a lot of people who kind of talked about how they were a different type of Democrat and all this, but then they would find themselves taking on Republican ideals and trying to apply them within the party, which didn't work. I would call them moderates, to be honest. Guess that's over now, because now there is this new grassroots movement of people saying they're Democrats for David O. They're Democrats, registered Democrats, but they're committed to voting for David O for mayor during the upcoming November Democratic primary. David O is a Republican. He's Asian. He's well respected in city council. When he was in city council, he was city council at large member prior to running for mayor. Before this run, David O had the unique ability of being a Republican that was appreciated and liked by Democrats as well. He's worked with Democrats across party lines. Notably when it comes to the arts community. When you look at South Street, TLA, all of these great, arts and cultural centers, David O has built a reputation in the inner communities with a lot of, different black and brown communities on getting this stuff done. And he's also popular in Chinatown as well. Like, he has done work, he has garnered popularity. But the truth is, I don't necessarily think he is a Democrat. I don't think he has the same, well, he's not a Democrat, but I don't think he has the same swagger and pull to win a major citywide race against a Democrat. I just don't think he has the ability to do that. I don't think that the city, especially when the city has done something unique and voting for its first ever for a black woman to get the major party endorsement. This is the first time a woman has ever gotten the Democratic Party's endorsement for mayor. And she's on track to becoming the first mayor in Philadelphia's history, period. And she's a black woman at that. In a predominantly black and brown city, I don't see David O pulling this off. But that being said, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have the ability to be able to garner support. It doesn't mean that he can't get some traction. And I guess what we're seeing right now with this coalition, that he is. But let me say what stood out to me the most about this. There has been some pictures that have leaked to the press and also been shared by David on his social media of a couple of a lot of these Democrats are black. I haven't seen other Democrats, but these are black Democrats in this photo. But one of the people that was in the photo was Emmanuel Bussey, a very interesting individual. I won't get into him too much, but he was one of the leaders of a different kind of Democrat movement that I was talking about. And it's interesting because he has now become someone who is aligning himself with David O right now. And that's really weird. The other person that I saw in this photo that stood out to me was former state representative Movita Harrell Johnson. For those who know about Movita, she was the first hijab-wearing Muslim state rep in Harrisburg and in Pennsylvania. She made history. I covered her historic road to Harrisburg. I interviewed her when she was in the special election, and she had clinched the nomination that way. And then she made history when she won, and I covered her throughout that tenure. But what has happened and what came out quickly after her seat in office, where she was met with some Islamophobia and some bigotry from Republicans, that should be noted, right? That she got this position and she entered a very fraught and negative Islamophobic and racist and anti-black woman environment. Quickly after, she had got indicted. This is when Attorney General Josh Shapiro, now Governor Shapiro, but at the time he was the Attorney General for Pennsylvania, had indicted her on several charges of just everything. I mean, it's a lot. But I will, she eventually pled guilty to theft charges, and she spent at least 3 months in jail. She was charged with stealing from a nonprofit. That was where her indictment was initially rooted in. They said that she was stealing funds from her nonprofit, and it was a problem. And quickly after, she eventually took a plea, and she pleaded guilty to theft and other related charges, and ended up spending 3 months, and she had to, of course, give up her seat. Yeah. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so she's going through a lot, but I think what's been interesting is that for a while she was supporting a lot of, progressives. She was very outspoken against, certain elected officials who were not progressive. She was endorsed by the Working Families Party at one point in time. She, pretty much supported, other progressive candidates. She was aligned with Jamie Gautier at one point in time. And so it baffles me that she is now in this interesting, weird space of supporting David O., somebody who was very critical of Krasner, who she was really buddy-buddy with and at one point in time gave her a job. I just am confused about why she is taking this route to affiliate herself with somebody that seems to be counterintuitive to everything that she's spoken about and was about. But it's just also baffling because it's like you couldn't have a conversation with Cheryl Parker? Or is it that because I'll say this. I feel like during these political times, when you start to see people like Democrats switch over to Republican or endorse certain Republicans or do these type of messy, 180s, it's oftentimes that behind the scenes, there is people trying to get a shakedown, a position, a job. There's a grift somewhere in the midst of all of it. They're looking for an opportunity to climb up the ladder, and because they don't get their way, they align themselves with people that's going to give them their way, and so they'll flip because they're just quick to. Because none of this is for free. I wonder how much these people got paid to be in the photo, to do the thing that they need to do. And it just goes to show you that when people are in desperate positions, they'll do whatever they got to do to feel like they need to survive. I wonder if they genuinely believe any of the things they're backing and who they're supporting, and that there isn't any money or something behind. But it's a stunt. And I'm really disappointed in David O. because out of a lot of people, David O. seemed to be someone who had a little bit more substance and maturity. But it seems like this recent stuff he's been doing lately, especially with this, just seems to want to garner media attention to give him a shot for something he doesn't have a chance in. And and I think the behavior, these little antics, it's just pointless, and it's just not worthy of the public's time. It's not worthy. It's a distraction. Like, go out there, get your point across, tell the truth, state facts, and stop running for antics and stunts. Period. So that's people have sent me the photos. I've seen the photos, but a lot of this type of stuff is just for the shit talking. And at some point you have to just be above that. That's how I feel. So there is like a Labor Day party going on. So if you're hearing a little bit of acoustics, it's because there is some Labor Day partying going on while I'm recording this lovely podcast. So just in case y'all wonder what's going on in the back. Definitely not a house party. But yeah. But I also want to talk about COVID real quick because, I was trying to be like, maybe it's just a couple of cases. There is a new strand of COVID going on out here, y'all. And at first I was just going to talk about COVID, but honestly, I think we just have a conversation about vaccines for the fall. Honestly, it's that season. It is September. Your friendly EO PSA. Listen, I am not a doctor. I'm not telling you what you need to put in your body, but I just want to put out for the record that I encourage people to get the new COVID vaccine when it comes to the end of the month. But also, here's some other vaccines to check out. If you're over 60, I recommend you get the RSV vaccine. It's a respiratory syncytial virus. That's the RSV is the respiratory syncytial virus. Apparently, it's a winter virus that causes mild cold-like symptoms, and it can be dangerous for young children, especially older adults. And so right now, the federal government has approved a vaccine for people aged 60 and older. So if you are somebody that listens to my podcast over 60, talk to your doctor and health specialist to figure out if this is good for you. You don't want to get something if you don't know what it's about. But apparently, RSV is on the rise. And for older people, our senior citizens listening, you might want to consider getting this. The flu shot, listen, 35,000 Americans die every year from the flu. And to be honest, it's much higher than that. But because of the fact that a lot of times people may not be reporting it or people don't know, they don't know. It is serious. The flu is serious. You do not want to get the flu if you don't have to, okay? People don't understand, but the flu weakens the body in ways that will make a heart attack happen and a stroke happen, especially people that are elderly. And we don't talk enough about that, but this year's flu shots are available now at drugstores, hospitals, and doctors. But people are saying, and doctors and experts say, that you might want to wait until late September or October to get one, because the heaviest parts of flu season is between December and February. This is what they're saying. If you wait, the shot's protections against severe illnesses will still be near its strongest level during those months. So you want to take that time. Don't get it too early. I used to get the flu shot super early, but it wasn't as strong or as effective as it could have been. Now, I never got the flu during those times, period. But the older you get, the more you want to take the shot, sooner to that period rather than later, because you want to maximize the input. So for me, my new rule of thumb has been I get the flu shot after my birthday. So my birthday is October 12th, which is mid-October. So I make sure I get it anywhere between October 12th and Halloween. So for me at 30, I'm in my 30s, I'll be 32, but I want to get the shot after October 12th, but before October 31st. That's my window when I get the flu shot, personally, because I just don't want to play. Now, COVID cases are happening, y'all. There's this new strand or something that's going around. People have been saying a good strategy for many people may be to get the COVID booster and the flu shot at the same time, again in late September or October. Personally, I'm probably going to get the COVID shot much sooner. I've never been one of the girls that get the COVID shots at the same time. I know people that get both shots at the same damn time. I mean, you could. I might end up doing that. Who knows? We'll see. But if the flu, with COVID, I don't want COVID. And so far, I haven't gotten COVID. Knocking on my wooden table right here. I haven't gotten COVID. But I don't, COVID is, COVID, I don't play with her like that. So if the COVID one does come out, my personal goal is I'm going to try to get it as soon as possible, because I don't want to play with the booster. So the new updated COVID booster is supposed to be coming out soon. I'm going to definitely be trying to get that. So basically, for where I stand on the bottom line is that, there's always different times. People say, what I care more about is that people get all 3 shots rather than people obsessing when they get the shots. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it. You don't have to get a shot. Don't have to get a shot. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I'm going to be doing. And I think some of y'all, care about what I do, because y'all want to keep, y'all want y'all beloved hosts to be healthy and well. And I want you all to be too. So just be on the lookout. COVID has not went away. Speaking of things that have not went away, racism seems not to go away. We got to talk about Erica Mena. We have to talk about Erica Mena. I have been biting my tongue for a little bit, not too much, but just reflecting on how I feel. It's not so much about Erica Mena, what she did. We're going to talk about what she did, but I really want to take out some time to flesh out how people have responded to this entire Erica Mena controversy. And it's been very telling to me about prioritization of colorism and other issues. Not surprised, but definitely a little annoyed. And so I want to use this opportunity to discuss and unpack this. Now, for people who do not know who Erica Mena is, we're going to talk about all that, because I want to make sure my boomers, my Gen Xers, and also just regular people understand important figures in television history. So who is Erica Mena? So Erica Mena is a reality TV show girl. She is currently on the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but she has been on a reality TV show for over a decade. She started off as being a video vixen in music videos. She is Latino. She is a New Yorker. She has been known for dating a lot of rappers and, athletes and other famous people in that terrain. She previously dated Bow Wow, was engaged to Bow Wow, and did not work out. Recently, she was in a relationship, married to, actually, Safari Samuels. Safari Samuels is a man with a huge endowment, according to leaked, pornography of him, sex tapes of him. He is the ex-boyfriend of Nicki Minaj, which, all of you all know who she is. And he has become also a very known reality TV star as well. He has basically have slept with or have dated at least every other castmate of the Love and Hip Hop franchise, except the ones who've been married. And maybe some of them too, because Lyrica was one of them from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But I digress. She is currently on this show, Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta. The storyline has been on this show, her divorce from Safari Samuels, okay? They've had a divorce. They've been having issues with child custody. That's been put out in the tabloids and the press. That's been going on for over a year now. Enter Spice. Spice is a dark-skinned black woman from Jamaica. She is a famous reggae artist, Grammy nominated. She's been on reality TV for a couple years as well. She's good friends with Safari. She's also have built a reputation as being a successful singer-musician. Contrary to Erica Mena, who's been trying to have a career outside of being, a model and a musical video girl, she had at one point attempted to be a music artist many years ago, getting the musical support of Jazzy Faye, but also getting the retribution and non-interest from Stevie J. So her music career hasn't really taken off. It never did. It never really had a chance. And even before that, she was dealing with a man named Rich Dollars, another popular reality show star who tried to produce her music. But Spice, on the other hand, has had a very successful music career. She has a Grammy nomination. She's had several chart-topping reggae albums on the respective charts. And she's also have made a name for herself of being very outspoken about colorism, about the colorism she faces, the dark-skinned woman in the industry, and a lot of racism she faced in America trying to cross over into the mainstreamness of it all. So I just want to lay that foundation for you before I get into what actually happened on the show. So in this recent episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Spice had found out that Erica Mena, who she had a good relationship with, had been bad-mouthing her to Safari. Because also, like every good reality show, it's a little messy. Even though Safari and Erica Mena claims to be broken up, they have dipped in the bed with each other since the official divorce. And Erica has admitted to still messing with him in spite of their public disputes. Now, publicly, Erica has told people Safari doesn't pay child support. Safari is not a good father. He hasn't been good to the family. She's put this all out there. Of course, Safari has countered that by showing receipts of him paying child support, disputing this claims that Erica has made, and has tried to defend his fatherhood publicly on the air. So, back to the drama at hand. Spice was made aware from Safari that Erica had basically criticized her or threw shots at her when she had experienced a moment in her life where she was disabled based on an accident she had. She had a surgical accident that impacted her body, and she was pretty much in a fatal situation where she could have died. During that time, Safari, who's Spice's friend, went to go see her and check up on her, and this caused Erica to be jealous in a way where she made insults and made nasty remarks about Spice's situation. Safari had apparently recorded this, not cool at all, by the way, but recorded this exchange and let Spice hear it, and Spice was hurt. Because up until this point, Spice never really had negative things to say about Erica. She never critiqued Erica or never gave her a hard time. So when she got word that Erica was saying these things about her, it led her to feel the need to, want to have a conversation and confront her about it. Which was, I must give props where props is at. If somebody that you thought was your friend was saying some stuff about you in a way that was completely unfair and also came off as being snake-like, you do have the right to actually confront the person up front and be that way. So this was what the attempt was from Spice, was that she had interest in wanting to keep this conversation, direct the conversation, and really be able to, do it. So they sit down. Spice is there. Erica's there. This woman named Shakana, who's, she's annoying. She's on the show too. She's a mutual friend. They're there having a good time, and basically, they have some words, some exchanges. The conversation goes south because both of them don't seem to see eye to eye to whatever the issue is between them. And at some point, I believe Spice mentions that, which again can be controversial. Spice mentions that Erica's son doesn't like her. Now, I have to say something. When I heard this being said by Spice, I did think it was kind of random. I was like, I don't know why you're bringing up, her child. That's a little below the belt. But as somebody said on Twitter, Spice went below the belt and Erica went straight to hell. When Erica heard this, she was really upset and got to the point where she resorted to calling Spice a monkey several times, which of course only ignited Spice and her to fight, which a table got lifted, people start cursing. She called her a blue monkey because Spice had blue hair. She called her a blue monkey. She told her she wished she died. She wished she was dead. She wished she had died. And then she began to even make the monkey sounds of a monkey. And just kept going. And making sure she said it enough because she wanted to hurt Spice. Spice was cursing at her. The B word was tossed left and right. Everybody was being called out their name. It was a feud. Now, since this, so let me back up a little bit. Erica's not black. Monkey is a racial slur. Calling a black person a monkey is a racial slur. It is. It's racist. It's derogatory. It's below the belt. Was Spice wrong of interjecting or going below the belt to say her child didn't like her? Yeah, that was not cool either. However, if we're talking about racism, somebody insulting your motherhood or your parenting should not turn you into a racist. Because there's a ton of things that could be said about Spice that does not require a racist term to be used. It don't. So you mad that all of a sudden the word that you can say out your mouth is monkey? So we using racial terms and derogatory terms about black people? Anti-black terms? Because you mad? Tell us how you really feel. Because it makes me wonder, so you wasn't saying monkey when you was in the bed with Safari, though. You wasn't saying monkey with your black children, though. You're not calling them monkeys. You wouldn't want anyone to call your black children monkeys. But this is how you feel about the black people that you in bed with, or not in bed with, or whatever. I was like, when I watched the episode, which came out last week, they did put a disclaimer before the scene that a racial slur was used and tried to say, VH1 don't stand for hate and this, that, and third. To prepare us for it. But when I saw the whole thing, now, see, everybody's watching these little clips on the internet. Y'all need to watch the whole episode. If you're curious to know more about this, one clip doesn't do it. You have to watch the whole episode, but you have to really watch that entire segment, not just the confrontation with the word in the fight and a couple words. You really have to see how all of this went down. Because when I watched it, I was so enraged. And I have thoughts about that in a minute, because I got so much to say about VH1 about this. Because as someone who's watched Love and Hip Hop for over a decade, this scene, this whole situation, woo! It took a lot out of me. And I did contact some people that I know over there in production and folks I know over there. Because I had some questions that I want to know privately. And I also had some things I wanted to share. But here's my thoughts furthermore. I was definitely not prepared to see this happen. I've seen Erica Mena on TV for over 10 years. She's had her issues for sure. But to me, it's just, wow. Am I surprised? Yeah, I'm going to say I'm surprised. She's never, I'm surprised she went this far. I'm disappointed. Just the directness of it, just the way that she went. She really wanted to hurt her. She definitely knew what the fuck she was doing. You know, there's no way. Erica Mena is going to be 36 years old in November. And so there's just no way that she could not have known. You know, so I'm a little skeptical, personally. So the backlash, I guess, at this point, the backlash since this has went down is there's been a lot of people on the internet debating about Erica. Was she wrong? Was she right? What's going to happen next? You know, people are like, oh, well, you know, Spice should have never brought up Erica's child. At the end of the day, bringing up somebody's child does not warrant and justify a person being racist. Sorry. It's just, it doesn't justify her being racist, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't see that. I'm not feeling that justification. Y'all gonna stop justifying. Y'all, listen, I've been in situations where I've had arguments with people and I've had civil arguments. And in the rage of the moment, some people have thought it was okay to say the F word. And I'm referring to the F word as a homophobic slur. And I'm sitting here looking like, how does your anger and rage lead you to say that if that's not already in your vernacular and that's not already how you feel? Because that's the same way a person could say, ooh, this black person made this white person mad, so therefore they just had to say the N-word. No, it isn't. If you don't have that in your language, in your attitude, in your frustration, that's not already in your vernacular, there's no reason. And when I hear people who make racist slurs say things like, oh, I was really upset that day, so you just decided to resort to racism to get your frustrations off? No, you've said this word before. You say this word often, and you was in a position where you was so mad that you was ready to let it be know how you really felt. Nobody is going to call somebody something or say something to somebody if that's not how they already feel and that's not already in their language. You're never going to hear me make an Asian slur or an insult at anyone from the AAPI community. You're never going to hear me make a very anti-Semitic, slur or comment against Jewish people. You're never going to hear me say Islamophobic terminology or language that is racist and xenophobic towards Muslim people and people from other parts of the country. You're never going to hear me say these things, y'all, because those words are not in my vernacular, because that's not who I am. You don't slip up and say things like that if that's not who you are, how you already feel, and what's in your vernacular. So I just want to put that on the table, because a lot of people love to act like folks just wake up and accidentally become a homophobe, a sexist, Islamophobe, anti-Semite. You don't wake up and be those things, y'all. It just does not happen. Let me know someone who says it's true, and I'll look up them and tell them they're a liar. It's just not true. So with that being said, it has come out this weekend that Erica Mena will no longer be on the next season of Love and Hip Hop. It looks like she's been cut from the franchise as of right now, and they've made this decision very publicly, and they want people to know. So, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot being said about all these institutions and all these places, and that's why I tell people all the time to be mindful, about the impact of things. So, Erica Mena is canceled. Erica Mena is canceled. Erica Mena has officially been canceled from Love and Hip Hop. And I think a lot of people are over her. There are some people that want to defend her fuckery. Some people who try to defend her fuckery and then have to turn around and circle back and check themselves for it. Lil Scrappy being one of them, tried to initially defend or at least feel bad for her being cut from the show. And then as time progressed, it became clear, oh shit, let me circle back because Erica, she brought this on herself. And, at the end of the day, it is what it is there. However, here's where I have some thoughts. Mona Scott Young is the creator and the lead executive producer of Love and Hip Hop franchise. She posted on social media this weekend, handled with a period mark on her Facebook. This the declarative handled to make it seem like, she handled this and she heard what the people wanted and she made a boss decision. Let me tell you something. This should have been addressed from the jump. Y'all had the footage. Y'all knew what was said. I'm a devout Love and Hip Hop watcher. Y'all know I watch this show every week. They have been promoting this fight between Spice and Erica this entire season. That footage of her flipping the table has been used and marketed dozens of times over the last several weeks to get people anticipating what this fight was about. I had no damn idea that the fight was stirred from her and this gonna lead to this. I had no clue. And the fact that they're talking about the next 3 episodes is going to show the consequences of Erica's actions because the next 3 episodes are showing it. I need to figure out something. I need to figure out, did Erica getting fired happen before this was announced? Like, was this premeditated? Meaning, like, when this came out that Erica said what she said, right? Was she fired during this time period? Now, the next episode of Love and Hip Hop, which I'm going to be watching like the rest of America, I need to figure out because I don't want to pass judgment, but what I'm trying to get clear on is, did they know? They clearly knew because before this clip got showed, VH1 put out the disclaimer before the scene on the episode. And this is before the controversy and the backlash happened. So I'm trying to figure out, did VH1 already fire Erica before this footage got aired to everybody? And the aftermath, which it seems to be that people in the cast heard about what Erica said, got offended, and that there was some problems that came after that as well. And did this lead to Erica getting the axe? That is what I'm trying to figure out. Because right now, it looks like and it appears that Erica is getting fired after the controversy and the backlash that has taken place because of what was aired. I hope that's not true. I hope that VH1 is treating this as an opportunity to justify the decision, and that had they done it prior to, I guess they were probably worried, or maybe because they had so much footage with Erica and her storyline was already in the show and she was already paid. I feel like they were like, we can't just scrub her out the show right now, but instead they could use the footage because she did sign a contract, and that pretty much they're going to basically hammer her hard as she exits from this show. So we'll see. But if they didn't do that, it's going to be very telling. It's going to be very interesting. So, we'll see. All right. We have an Ask Ernest this week. Y'all have really been listening to these Ask Ernests and giving me your thoughts privately. I love how comfortable people are with sharing with me their experiences to get my take, my opinion for what it's worth. And how many of you all agree or disagree with some of the moves of the people that I've been reaching to? As always, you can go in my inbox on Instagram or Twitter if you are still on X. I'm on Twitter still, or X. I'm calling it Twitter, y'all. That's what if your mama call you Twitter, that's what I'm gonna call you. Mama calls her Twitter, I'm going to call her Twitter. I don't know who this X is. Someone made a joke that didn't say, what is Black Twitter now that is gone? Malcolm X, we call it X. No, I'm joking. I don't know. It's still Twitter to me. But you can still inbox me. And remember, keep names off of these letters. Do not send me names. I cannot say I'm not saying your ex-girlfriend, your boyfriend, your coworker. I'm not saying names on Ask Ernest. Y'all be like, you can say their name. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you don't give a fuck. But whoever the person could be could. And this show is an independently produced show. And we want to keep it like that. So I am not saying names. But I get a new letter. I'm going to read this to you. Hey, Ernest. Hope you're enjoying the rest of the summer. Wanted to reach out to you pertaining to a situation involving the mother of my son. The mother of your son? Oh, you mean your baby mama? Okay. I don't want to say baby mama, but he's trying to be classy. Sir, it's your baby mother. Let's get this clean. All right, let's move on. She wants to have a birthday party for our son. He's turning 3 in 2 weeks, and I'm down with that. We don't have any major problems in our relationship. I've moved on with my life. She's moved on with hers, but we co-parent and things have been going good. Well, that is until she gave me the budget for our son's birthday. She wants to have, bear with me, y'all, he gave me a list. She wants to have 4-hour bottle service. She wants catering for 4 hours. She wants a bungee. What's this? Oh, a trampoline. Okay, she wants the little bungee jump thing. Okay, a trampoline. She wants a clown. She wants her friend's band to perform a 1-hour set. She wants everybody to get a gift bags. She wants a balloon. She wants... Who is this? What's this? Oh, she wants a private caterer to do the inside the house, to do... Okay, I'm looking at this list very descriptive. I'm just reading it now. Wow. So basically, in a nutshell, it looks like... Hold on. So she wants to have an indoor caterer that was going to do light bites, and then she wanted a main caterer inside of, I guess, the living room area or the outdoor area. Cool. She said she wants the bartender. She said the bar service. She said she wants to have a mini petting zoo for their child so that he could be able to touch all of the different animals with his friends. Okay. She wants a musician. I'm sorry, a musician. Oh, a magician, not a musician, a magician for the final hour. And she wants to do some type of fireworks ordeal. Okay. Now that I looked at the bulletproof points, get back to it. Although she hasn't given me the direct receipt, she told me that she will at least want $5,000 from me to help pay for some of this. I told her I think this is an excessive amount of money to spend for our child. He's only 3 years old. He's not turning 13. It's not like he's having a sweet 16 or anything like that. And he's 3. I feel like she's using this money to impress her friends and her family. And I don't necessarily feel comfortable spending that much money up front. What should I do? That's a great-ass question. This is a great-ass question. I appreciate you telling me, and I appreciate you giving me a laundry list of all the things that she wants you to pay for. I hope if she's listening to this episode, who knows who she is. I don't know who she is. But if any of her friends are listening to this episode, tell her she needs to chill the fuck out. So here's my advice. I agree with you, sir. Okay? I agree with you. I think $5,000 for a 3-year-old's birthday party is excessive. Hell, most adults don't even spend $2,000 for their birthday. So why is a 3-year-old getting $5,000? I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know what she do for a living. Maybe y'all come from money. I don't know. But it sounds like she doing the most. And it seems like she doing the most and she ain't trying to pay for it. I agree. I think $5,000 is ridiculous. The child is 3. The child's not going to remember none of that shit. All these pictures, all this stuff. I'm going to throw some shade. I'm sorry. I have noticed a trend lately in my adulthood of parents doing the most for kids. Now, baby showers, I get. Because baby showers is a family gathering, and I get people want to do that for baby showers. But when you start having birthday parties post baby shower. In my opinion, any birthday between 1 year old to 16 is insignificant. Now, when you get to 18, when you get to 21, you get to 30, you get to 40, 50, it starts to have some significance. But when you having these little birthday parties in between, I don't understand what justifies the spending. So I don't know why a 3-year-old should have a $5,000 plus birthday party. I'm just trying to understand, what is this about? So I'm with you. I think what y'all should do is come to a healthy compromise. I think what you need to sit down and talk about is, what are the things that you all agree that the baby absolutely needs? I think y'all should scale down on how many people come, or scale down on some of the stuff you don't need. This catering situation you just described to me, what the fuck? The kid is 3. It ain't like y'all feeding his friends. It looks like she's trying to throw a party for herself under her kid's name. And I feel like if that's what she's trying to do, then she needs to say that. But it's not your responsibility for you to pay for her to have a party in the name of her child as a way to showcase herself. And we see a culture of a lot of adults now on this lifestyle where they want to look more fabulous and better than what they really are and what they really have. And it's not up to you, even if you're the father. Your fatherhood is not defined by how over the top you spend for things like this. I'm not saying that and I'm not assuming this about your fatherhood, but I think when you're in a situation where we see parents or people who have kids and they co-parent with kids, I hate when people start putting support based behind a dollar sign. As somebody who's come from a family that was divorced, and I've had a stepdad, and I've had, father figures, I will tell you from that type of experience that a lot of times when you put a dollar sign amount on every single attribution that you expect the father to do, or whoever the co-parent is to do, that's when things get a little messy and weird. And so what I would say is, if you're already paying child support and you are actively involved in co-parent without any problems, I think this might be the opportunity to say, listen, as a father, I show up for my child. I'm going to be the best father I can be. If we don't live together, we don't live together. But I'm going to be the best that I can be and do what I can. But don't take my kindness and exploit that. $5,000 does not determine how much I care about my son or his birthday. So you need to lay the parameters up front of just saying, let me just start off by saying that I want our son to have the best birthday party and I want him to have a good time. However, I don't think $5,000 is a fair amount of money, or a good or a reasonable amount of money to spend for his birthday at 3. Me saying this, however, does not mean that I'm not going to put some money up front to support the birthday. I plan to help provide, some money to this. However, the way that you're trying to plan this and scale this, and the fact that you're asking me to put $5,000 on it, I just feel like we could definitely use this money for other ways to support and nurture our child outside of a party that he's never going to remember and he's never going to care about. And so let's be smarter with our money. You're better off putting that money in a savings account to make sure that he has a future in college, because Lord knows the way these college tuition bills are going to be, you better start early. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a better way to celebrate a birthday party without spending $5,000. But what do I know? Somebody might say, Ernest, you ain't got no kids. Shut up. I want to spend $5,000 for a 3-year-old. Well, you know what? You're right. I don't got no kids. But let me tell you this. I'm going to be 32. And if you think I'm spending $5,000 on my upcoming 32nd birthday party, you got another thing coming, kid. That's all. That's all I have on that. I hope you find peace. And let us know how it goes. Let's find out how much money you end up being able to give. Let me know in the DMs. Keep us updated here on Ernestly Speaking. I want to know how much money you end up giving. I have a number in my head of how much I will give, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to tell my friend. I'm going to tell my friends on low. But I ain't going to tell you how much I would give. But I would just say it's definitely not $5,000. Hell, it ain't even $3,000. But I'm going to be quiet. All right, moving along. Oscar season is here. It's coming. It's officially happening. There's a lot of film festivals happening, a lot of hype. Telluride just happened, Toronto Film Festival. We're talking about Venice. People are talking about this new movie called Poor Souls that is coming out. It's from the director of The Favorite, which is me and Jamarcus's favorite bestie bros film of all time. Emma Stone is in this new film. This is the guy who directed also The Lobster with Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz. He's made a lot of great films lately. He's a great filmmaker. His name is Hugo something. Love his film work. He's an incredible director. But this new film coming out has Emma Stone in it, and people are talking about this film. A lot of film critics are saying very positive things. It's very sexual. It's very grown. This is for grown people. This is not for the young at heart. This is for people who've had sex, know about sex, experienced sex. It is sexy. It's raunchy. It's juicy. It's a great inventive character in film. It's Emma Stone's finest performance, the critics are saying. And they say it's also Hugo's best film to date. It's very experimental. It's out of this box. It's weird. It's quirky. It's a utopia. It's a grown folks fantasia. I'm curious to see it. Also, the new Bayard Rustin film, which stars Domingo Coleman, who is the black actor that you all saw, the older black man, who's also queer, by the way. But he's also was in the great film that you all are talking about on the show. He won an Emmy. It was Euphoria. He was in Euphoria, and he had a really great, memorable scene with Zendaya in that show. If you know who Domingo Coleman is, this is him. He is playing Bayard Rustin, which is the black, openly gay civil rights activist who helped create the March on Washington. Yes, in the 1960s and 50s and 60s, there was an openly black gay man who was a historical, influential leader that was pivotal in liberating a bunch of straight black people who was homophobic as fuck. Yes, Bayard Rustin. Look him up. He has Pennsylvania roots. I learned about him in college. There's a great biography about his life. It's called Lost Prophet. Read this book. It's huge, but it talks about Bayard Rustin's history, and I love that man. I love his history. He's an interesting person. But yeah, he did a lot of work. He was a very pivotal figure. He's also an alum of Cheyney University, which is another cool fun fact, I believe. Yeah, I think he went to Cheyney. He's got some connections there. But he's a very important figure in the civil rights movement. And a lot of people do not talk about him enough. But yeah, he went to Cheyney. He has education in Cheyney. He did a lot of great work there. And I think it's interesting that my roots in education, teaching at Cheyney and him going there, and there's a lot of interesting things about him. I love him to death. Very pivotal guy in history. He died in 1987, on August 24th, 1987. He's passed away for quite some time, but he lived a very noble life. He died at 65 years old. Well, no, I'm sorry, 75. He was 75 years old. He lived a long life. He was born in 1912, March 17th, 1912, and he died August 24th, 1987 in New York City. But he was born in Westchester, PA, so that's how he ended up landing at Cheyney University, because that Cheyney University is in Cheyney, which is near Westchester. But he's a very pivotal person in history. Very, very important person in American history. He's an unsung LGBTQ hero. He's been erased through a lot of history, and that's very disappointing given his contributions. But he is an important person, and so Netflix is airing the film. A lot of famous people are in it. Apparently, there's a cameo. Well, I don't want to tell the film, but he's in it. There's some interesting other famous actors that we know that are also in it. There is a lot of people saying that he's going to get an Oscar nomination for Best Actor for his performance. I can see that. I can see him getting a Best Actor nomination. Will he win? It'll be interesting. But definitely the type of role, the meaty role. We're getting Oscar baity right here. That's happening. But the one film that everybody is talking about across the board is Killers of the Flower Moon. That Leonardo DiCaprio film, Martin Scorsese directing it, it's getting a lot of buzz. It's about the Osage murders. It's about the birth of the FBI. It's a very buzzy film. It's getting a full theatrical release in October. The streets are talking. Everyone's talking about this film. I am very excited to see it. I've heard good things, but I want to see it for myself. So we keeping an eye on that over here. But as they say, stay woke. Now, the one film that everybody else is also talking about that's got me in a tailspin is a film that's coming out during my birthday weekend in October. Taylor Swift, y'all. Yes, Taylor Swift. The Eras Tour is now the Eras film. She is giving her fans a theatrical release of her iconic tour. I am going to go see it. Not on my birthday, because I actually have a life. But I do plan to see this. Tickets went on sale. I have all my movie passes at Cinemark. So I'm going to get tickets. Tickets are online on Cinemark, so I already pre-ordered my tickets. They've been selling out and filling up everywhere. I mean, people are treating this like the Taylor Swift concert all over again. I mean, she might even have a big box office hit coming up. Like, she's already given us a ridiculously crazy sold out tour. Now she's having a film version of this, and it's coming out in the heat of everything going on with the tour. Taylor Swift is going to make her some money. I give you that. It's I can't deny it. The girl is working. I want to see it, because let me say this. I saw the tour in Philly in May. I got nosebleed seats. And let me tell you, I'm a bougie girl. I'm just like, why would I take pictures of nosebleeds? I slid in on a lucky note. Someone told me they had a way for me. They had a ticket for me. I debated because I don't like to go to concerts by myself. And so none of my friends, listen, they know who Taylor Swift is, but I had no one to go with. So I did not buy a ticket because I wasn't going to go by myself. That's so weird. Normally I go with somebody to a concert, but none of my friends wanted to go to the Taylor Swift concert. So there was no way I could get a ticket. No, I'm joking. But no, real rap. Nobody wanted to go. Okay, because they just shady like that. Beyonce, the four of us went to that. Taylor Swift, you on your own, dog. It was like everybody left me alone. There was no Swifties to find who wanted to go see this concert with me. So, as a result, I didn't get a ticket initially. However, I had a friend, I knew somebody, and they were like, listen, you want to come see this show? I could get you in. I was like, say less. So they got me in, but I was in the nosebleed, which I had no problem with. I was just happy to be in the crowd. I was a little scared because it was giving me, but I was there and I made it out alive and it was fun. It was just a lot of little white girls and a little loud, a lot of noise. It was a very interesting crowd. I know they weren't from Philly, all of them. They definitely was from Delaware and Jersey and everywhere else, child. Wildwood and everywhere else. Because I was like, who are these people? Bucks County was in the house. Delco was in the house. Montgomery County was in the house. I was getting a little worried. But I made it out alive. But the concert was fun. It was lively. I appreciated being in the crowd. I appreciated seeing the fandom. Now I'm happy I can officially see the show in a very full way. But I will tell you, the crowds are real. They're not playing with crowd size like Donald Trump be playing with his rally size. Those crowds are real. Those people are dropping that money, and she is really out here selling these tickets. I'm excited to see the Eras Tour when it comes out in theaters on October 13th. October the 13th, Freaky Friday, y'all, I guess. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Speaking of tours, there's been a lot of conversations about the tours and tour sales. Beyonce just released this interesting, note that she is the highest selling female tour. Her tour is the highest selling tour by a female artist in history. This is true. ... Because we got to put a dot on it. Taylor Swift has not released the official numbers of her tour yet to the public. So as of right now, Beyonce has this title. It's a great title. She surpasses Madonna's Sticky and Sweet tour. Because I know for a fact that Madonna's Sticky and Sweet tour was good. Because my little gay ass was there when I was young. And I was so hyped to see Madonna. I went with another friend, okay? We won't talk about that experience. But the show itself was very good. Sticky and Sweet tour was great. This came after the album Hard Candy. And I love me some Hard Candy. That album is, we don't talk enough about Madonna's Hard Candy. There was some interesting musical decisions she made. But I do appreciate Pharrell's production. And I did enjoy some of the things that Madonna did on that album. Madonna is I got to give it to her. I love me some Madonna. Y'all can't tell me anything wrong about Madonna's music. Because Madonna really experiments. And she's the type of artist that she knows it will get ugly in the process. That there will be some duds and some studs in the middle of her making that music. But when Madonna hits the zenith of what she's trying to do taste-wise, the music is unstoppable. She makes timeless bops and hits. Y'all gonna put some respect on Madonna. She's been in the game for over 40 years, and she's the queen, okay, of pop. I know people argue and say it's other artists, but you know what? I'm gonna give her props. In my world, Madonna is the queen of pop. Madonna just done did it too long. Madonna has done things. You know, I appreciate Beyonce's longevity at her level, like 20 years in the game, 25. You can't take that away from her. To be at her level doing what she's doing. Madonna's been doing it at her own level for over 40 years. And has she arguably fallen off? It's subjective. But you know what? She's been on these tours. She's been selling her tickets, and she's doing her thing. So I see it. I have a lot of respect. And I want people to stop comparing legends to current artists in ways that's not based on numerics, without further context. I think the reason why I'm bringing this up is that, it's clear to know that for accuracy's sake, because people was asking the question, like, well, what are Taylor Swift's ticket sales? Her sales have not been publicly released. It's just not been public. But what I will say is the fact that if Taylor Swift's album tour is number one, apparently Taylor Swift might have the largest selling tour of all time. She might outpace and outsell Elton John. Now, this all could be adjusted for inflation, and we could see a different number. But it appears that Taylor Swift might have the all-time greatest selling tour of all time based on the trajectories. But we need to get past the trajectories and get to the numbers because it looks like it's coming. Her goal, it looks like, is that she might surpass Elton John's tour. So Elton John had a farewell tour he did all across the country for several years. That tour, is currently the largest selling tour of all time. And Elton John could sell tour tickets, just like Bruce Springsteen. But this coming tour specifically with Taylor Swift, it looks like it's going to do that. We're going to see. We'll see. We're keeping our eyes open over here, Ernestly speaking, but I wanted to bring it up. Also, there's been a note. I must say, the past couple weeks has been interesting. The R&B girls look like they want to make a comeback. Victoria Monet's album just came out. I like Victoria Monet. I talked about her a couple of seasons ago when there was some confusion about Ariana Grande and what she's doing. And I want to tell y'all, Victoria Monet is the voice and style and aesthetic of Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande's Thank You Next album, her Dreamin', the other album she's done, it would have never been possible without Victoria Monet. That soulful hip hop energy that you see in Ariana Grande, from Sweetener to Positions to Thank You Next, those albums, the sound, okay, that R&B energy would not have been without the production of Pharrell and without the production and vocals and harmonies and notes and lyricism of Victoria Monet. When I look at Victoria Monet, when you look at her videos, the girl can dance. When you look at her and how she sings, that's not a wannabe Ariana Grande, you motherfuckers. Ariana Grande is the wannabe her. And because we live in a racist, colorist music industry, in many ways, certain artists that are songwriters behind these white artists, because let's be clear, Ariana Grande is a white woman. She is not Latino. That Grande is really Grandy, okay, because she's Italian. She's not Latino. She cosplays in various ways, okay? Makeup and stylings. One moment she's giving her, she's blackfishing like she's a black woman. She's playing around like she's Latinx. She did some makeup the other day, paled her skin complexion, got people thinking she was Asian with the way she was doing her eyes. This woman cosplays in different identities because she doesn't really care much for the identity she actually is. Because it's been her whole aesthetic. Dyeing the hair color a certain way, talking with a certain type of vernacular that is clearly not her original one. Like, this is an Italian woman that's been doing a lot of things. And it's disappointing because she's talented. She don't got to do all of that. But, that's what industry plans to do. So, she's, doing her thing. But Victoria Monet's new album is really good. It's very short. I'm really, my critique is all these artists are doing shorter albums nowadays. I miss the days when an album used to be an hour and some change. What happened to that? One thing I do appreciate is that a lot of artists nowadays are not doing a bunch of intro outros. I do appreciate that because that can get annoying. But I don't like the fact that it's hard to hear a 4-minute song. I can't get a 4-minute song anymore. It's really rare to listen to an album with 4-minute songs. That's why I really loved Renaissance, because most of Beyonce's songs on Renaissance were at least 4 minutes long, and she really grooved out. When you listen to Virgo's Groove, you listen to some of them songs off that album, you listen to that, you're like, this is a motherfucking song. Like, this song has a bridge, a hook, a chorus, an opening note, an end note. I don't even, when people say things like music is dead, it's just that there are times where I'm like, the construction of a fucking song no longer exists. And this is somebody who took music classes. I'm not a singer, but I know music. And I'm just like, where the fuck? I've been listening to some of these songs on the radio, and that there was always a radio edit, where a song would be reduced a little bit to keep up with the commercials. I knew that. But now original tracks are starting to sound like radio edits. And it's weird because I will listen to a song and I'm like, when I'm finally getting in the groove, I'm like, yo, play that shit again. What the fuck? It's over? It was only 2 minutes? What the that's not a song. That's a ringtone. I done heard ringtone. These songs are not even songs no more, y'all. They ringtones. Like 2-minute songs. You can't give me another fucking verse. You can't extend the fucking bridge. Where the fuck is my outro? Like, I get so mad now listening to albums. Because I'm like listening to it, I'm like, yeah, I like that. Okay, girl. She hit that note. Come on, bring it down, bring it. And then the song goes off. Now, I understand that rappers are no longer writing verses anymore. Rappers are barely rapping anymore. I'm not gonna take us to the 90s, y'all, where rappers used to just go bar for 4 minutes. When you go back and you listen to some of them Tupac songs and Biggie songs, you was like, yo, they was really out here spitting. They was really saying something. They really had, some opinions. They were expressing themselves. Like, I listened to Jay-Z the other day. I was listening to Song Cry. I'm like, that's a real rap song. 99 Problems. Like, these people was really rapping. These songs out now, then I don't want to sound like that man yelling at the sky, but this shit is just whack. There's a lot of whack-ass music out now, man. Or the songs are just too short. Victoria Monet's album is good. However, she's such a good artist. I want to hear more, boo. I want to let the songs have longer. Give us more songs. Give us something with some length. Especially with R&B. I want to hear some things. I want to feel some things. It was a time where you could play an R&B album and you can just make love your way through. Now the songs are so short, you still going, album is stopped. I am not talking from personal experience. Or not. But I'm just saying, it is interesting what is happening with the music nowadays. Apparently Tinashe is coming back out with an album. I'm just going to say, okay. 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 I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't expecting that, but somebody might like it. Somebody might like it. Somebody might like it. You know, somebody might like it. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because sometimes we in these situations where we see people in these positions, and I'm just telling people all the time, be smart, come correct. You know, Normani apparently is working on the album. You know, Normani's always working on the album. I don't know when Normani's not working on the album. We've been waiting for this album for over 5 years. I'm at this point, you know, I don't know what to expect. I stopped waiting. Now, I'm going to say this because some of y'all running y'all mouths. Y'all talking about my girl Cardi B may not be dropping an album. I believe Cardi B's dropping an album. I believe Cardi B is coming with the thunder. And I'm going to need y'all to stop acting like it's not going to happen. You know, some of y'all, I really want to name some names right now, but y'all going to stop sleeping on my good Judy. Y'all going to stop acting like Cardi B ain't out here putting in the work. Cardi B is coming, okay? But when you are Cardi B and you know that the pressure is on you and the eyes are on you, you got to do what you got to do. Let's be clear. Unlike some of y'all faves, Cardi B, you know, had 2 babies in the middle of all this, which is a lot to do on a career. So she want to get motherhood down. But she's ready. She's hungry. I'm hearing about collaborations. She's telling Billboard magazine is coming. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to happen, y'all. Just wait. And lastly, on music, before I move to the TV, there's been a lot of talk about, what's her name? Nicki Minaj is coming back in November. Her album's dropping in November. Such a long rollout for an album. September to October, October to February. She's got over 2, goodness gracious. She's got she's been announced since August. She's on a 3-month campaign for an album. We ain't seeing a rollout this damn long since Katy Perry. Oh my goodness, let me not throw that shade, but it's true. I've never seen an artist have a long ass rollout. Like, she told us the date very much so up front. It's like she's building anticipation. She's trying to get the pre-sales. I just want to add that, you know, speaking of pre-sales, you know, Taylor Swift's pre-sales for her world tour for the Eras tour has apparently outpaced over $25 million worth of ticket sales have outpaced and is now the highest pre-sale ticket movie ever. It outpaced Spider-Man No Way Home, who was in the lead, but now she is, which is telling us a lot that this concert might be a box office smash. But I say all right to say that I wonder if, you know, that is what Nicki Minaj is doing so that she can guarantee she has the number 1, and she's trying to build the pre-sales up for the album in addition to the debut week. But she's trying to build up this anticipation. You know, Video Music Awards is coming up very soon, the VMAs. They're coming up. I believe they're going to be next week. The VMAs is airing next week. So we'll see what's going to happen with the MTV Video Music Awards, which, quite frankly, I'm not really excited about. I mean, I'm going to watch it because clearly there might not be anything else on TV to watch. But the awards itself, I'm not crazy about the awards. I really want to see what's going to happen with the performances. I want to see if history is going to get made in some kind of way. But I wonder if this is going to be an opportunity for Nicki to promote, because her MTV have a relationship for sure. Like, they really be giving her a lot of leeway to promote projects that don't necessarily pop off. They give her awards and categories that sometimes I don't think she deserves. She's won Best Hip Hop but Best Hip Hop Video a couple of times. And I'm just kind of like, is this because she's like the only rapper y'all really know? Or y'all just don't give it to Drake because Drake barely goes to award shows? Like, I have a theory about some of this, but I'm gonna see what happens at the next VMAs before I share it. But, you know, we'll see where it goes. As far as TV goes, I mean, clearly Love and Hip Hop is the talk of the town. I've been watching it religiously, as you all know. Love the show. This recent episode, Erica, not so much. Definitely gonna be following it. But I just want to note that for those who do watch and observe, Safari, okay. So Safari is currently on 2 shows. He's on Atlanta and he's on Love and Hip Hop Miami. I just want to understand, why is it that every season he's dating a new girl on the shows? I have brought up a chart that I would love to share to you all verbally on this podcast of all the people that Safari has slept with or been alleged to have messed with throughout his entire time on the Love and Hip Hop franchise. So, first of all, he's been on all the franchises, which just lets you know he gets around. He started off in New York, playing the I'm Nicki Minaj's ex, but I'm a rapper in my own right. He was on that show heavily, at first he wasn't really dating anyone. He kind of was just floating on the show, but then he started messing with what's her name? Once upon a time, not long ago, Mariah Lynn. He had a little situation with Mariah Lynn. Then there was thoughts that he was messing around with Juju, which is Cameron's ex-girlfriend, but they squashed those rumors. And then, it started buzzing around that he may or may not have had a situation with Erica Mena, but that came later. So we'll put that there. Then he takes his ass to Hollywood, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and then things get messier, because then he was messing with Miss Nikki Baby. That was like a love interest of his. Then he had a little thing with, who was he dating? It was, dating. Lyrica. So Lyrica Anderson. She is a singer. She used to be married to a producer named A1. And there was a whole thing on the show where there was a rumor and speculation that he was sleeping around and messing around with her. And then it came out that he didn't. So what we know, he didn't. And, that wasn't the thing. Then it was on the show, there was a woman named Chanel West Coast, and it looked like him and Chanel West Coast, who's on that show, Ridiculous, I guess it's on MTV, Outrageous or something like that. She was on Love and Hip Hop California for a small stint, or Hollywood for a small stint. Then he made his way to Atlanta, and Atlanta was all about Erica Mena. That's when him and Erica started dating, and they were, they had got married, and, she was supposed to be the one and all that. Now he's in Love and Hip Hop Miami. You see how his dick has stretched all across the platforms? Now he's in Love and Hip Hop Miami, and he's dating Amara La Negra, because as you all know, him and Erica has divorced. So that's about 8 women that I have been able to name. Even though speculation was at one point in time, he was trying to get at Sierra, which was at the time Erica's friend, in the middle of Erica's divorce. That was one speculation. But, So now he is currently talking to Amara La Negra after making his way through all of these other girls. And then one of the girls from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, who used to be on the show, she admitted to messing with Safari, but offline. So that's about 10 women on the Love and Hip Hop franchises that he's been, either accused of messing with or have actually messed with on the show. 10. I'm just like, that's a lot, Safari. That's a lot, Safari. That's a lot. That's a lot, Safari. You out here in these streets. You really out here just giving everybody the best of you. Not slut shaming, I'm just saying. I don't know why Amara Negra is messing with him, given that she got her own drama going on. I don't know why she's going to add fuel to the fire, given everything that's happening right now in her life. But who am I to judge? I guess this is what you got to do to stay on TV. So, in conclusion and wrapping up, this week, I'm just getting to the paper. I'm getting to the bag. I got a lot of good things coming up, a lot of good stuff that is just working in my favor, which I'm super excited about. There is a new convention in town, the Association of LGBTQ Journalists, which is NLGJA. They're having their national convention in Philadelphia this week. I will be there. I'm doing a couple of speaking engagements. I'm doing a really great workshop with some people in the industry I admire. And I'm going to be a moderator of that forum. I'm also going to be accepting my NLGJA award, my Salute to Excellence award I'm getting from them, which I'm super excited about. So that's happening. It's nice to have some new hardware on the shelf. So I look forward to getting my award and putting it on my shelf. And also, I'm participating in an Authors Cafe, which I'll be discussing my book, The Case for Council Culture, there with this incredible live audience during the convention. So I got my work cut out for me this week. There'll be some new restaurant tastings I'm going to be going to. I'm happy to start anticipating the fall restaurants. There's some restaurants that people are getting excited about as we head on to, the fall and September. And I'm excited. This is my favorite season of the year. There's so much going on in Philly and across the country. September, I'm about to relaunch this book tour. And it's a lot going on. So I'm excited, and there's more to come. And then as always, be well and be best. Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.